Today we're being joined by Melbourne AFLW youngster Shelley Heath. Shelley, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me, Cooper.
No worries. So tell us a bit about yourself for people that don't know too about you, like, how old you are, what type of position you play in, everything like
that. I'm 23 years old. I predominantly play as a halfbacker, and I can go through the midfield at times when needed.
So as a tag, you did in round one, was it part of a tagging job in Britt Benici and Bree Davey? How do you reckon that went?
Yeah, not bad. Pretty good. Yeah, so, if their players start to get off the chain, usually the coaching staff will send me to them because of my defensive mindset down back. So shutting down their best players is also a challenge, and a challenge I like to rise up to. And they're two of the best players in the competition. So getting to play against them also helps me become a better player because I get to, follow them around, see how they get to the ball, see where they position themselves. So I think, it's a good fun. It's also very challenging.
In that particular game as well, he had 11 tackles, 11 touches, and he kicked 2 goals. And I know in some interviews you said, I think it was on that exact same day with the club website, that you're not familiar with kicking multiple bags of goals, and kicking 2 on that same day and then quell the influence of those 2 goals was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. I think I just got in good positions to get the goals, and I've also been working on being able to shut down a player, but also being an option offensively for the team. So it's not like we're a player down. So being able to work back the other way and make those midfielders accountable for me is something I've really been working on. So it was really good to see that it paid off.
So you're also a premiership player. What was that day like? I remember also seeing on the Melbourne page when Lily Mithun did a bit of roaming Lily, or whatever you want to call it, on that day. And you seen in the video we seen that you seemed to enjoy pretty well. How was that day for you leading up and the aftermath?
Leading up, it was pretty nerve-wracking, but I just try to think of it as any other game. Otherwise, I think the nerves get the better of you. But yeah, it was a tough contested game the whole time, and I didn't really even realize we were winning until the last couple of minutes when people were yelling at us to just slow the game down. And then it just kind of sunk in. It was so exciting. The aftermath was amazing. Being able to celebrate with all the girls that I love, and the club that's just so amazing, was really great, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm hoping that we can do it again this year.
You're on the right track, obviously, so far this season. In the 2018 draft, you went at pick 44. How was that lead up to that draft? Did you have an inkling that it was going to be Melbourne? How was that time for you, and the actual day itself or night itself when the draft was actually on? How were you feeling going into it?
Yeah, so Melbourne were the only team that showed any interest in me. So I didn't think I was going to get picked up because a lot of the other girls I knew had been spoken to by multiple clubs. So that was my last day of year 12, was the same day as the draft. And I actually didn't watch the draft because I just didn't think it was going to happen that year. So I was just hanging out with my friends, and then I got a call from my parents and then from our list manager that I had been drafted, and I was shocked, couldn't believe it. And I was at school at the time, so I probably shouldn't have even been on my phone, but I was. But no, it was an amazing day. I was so grateful to have that opportunity, and to still be there is just, it's amazing, and I couldn't think of anything better.
So what got you into wanting to play footy? How did that journey come about?
Yeah, so my brother has always played since he was young, and my dad coaches, so I would always go to my brother's games all the time, and it just looked like an amazing game. It looked so much fun. Different to any other games I've played. I played basketball and netball growing up, and as soon as the opportunity came to play football down on the peninsula, I was about 15 years old, and I thought I'd give it a go, and I absolutely just fell in love with it, and just decided that was the sport that I wanted to stick with and to go as far as I possibly could.
What is a week-to-week like for an AFLW football? Obviously, with the AFL, is obviously a bit different if the week it's longer season, etc. But what's a week-to-week like for you, for example, at Melbourne?
So we have trainings on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, then obviously game on the weekends. And then during pre-season, we train Saturday. So 4 days a week we're training. And then on my off days, so on Wednesdays, I work 1 day a week. And then Friday, usually I like to leave that free because, either we play on a Friday or we're traveling on a Friday. So it's just easier than telling a job that I need to take another day off. So, I work Wednesdays, and then football is pretty much on the rest of the weeks.
Do you remember your first AFLW goal, and what was that like?
Yeah, I do. We were playing against Gold Coast. I think it was in 2020, and it was a 50-metre penalty. So it was just the girl came running through across the mark, and then I just got taken straight to the goal square. So it was a pretty simple goal. It was, one that I was hoping I wasn't going to miss because that would be, embarrassing. But no, it was just a goal right in front of the goal square. It was good fun.
Now, earlier this year, Danielle Ponte from the Coast, I'm sure you heard about it when she kicked that goal from the centre square. Is when I had Lauren Pearce on, your own teammate, about a month ago now, she said that Eden Zanker and Taylor Harris are probably the two players that could recreate that moment. Number one, do you think you could recreate that? And who do you think could in your team?
No, I do not think I could. My kick is not that big. I know my limits to my kicking, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I definitely do think Taylor Harris and Edo, they're the two biggest kicks in our team. Definitely Taylor. Sometimes she kicks at training goals from the 50 like it was nothing, like it was just easy. So I definitely think she could recreate that one for sure.
Got a favourite teammate or mate?
I love Eliza West. We drive up together because we both live down the same area. So we take turns driving up together every training. So we've gotten to know each other pretty well. So, yeah, she's a great and she's an amazing friend and teammate. So probably be her.
Yeah. Any nicknames that you've been given that you like or you're not fond of?
I got a few. I get Heater, Heathy, Sheethy. Taylor calls me Seashell, which I don't know where that came from, but she loves that one. But no, I don't mind any of them. They're all fine. And I respond to any of them as well. So whatever floats everyone's boat.
So it's obviously you've had a great season so far. And in great history, really, since the competition started. Why do you think Melbourne's so strong compared to some of the other sides that have, obviously chopped and changed, but Melbourne's always been consistent and always been near the top?
I think because we've consistently had the same coaching staff and also the same group of girls throughout the seasons. Maybe a few come and go, but the core stay. And I think that's been great to be able to build that team culture and the friendships and the camaraderie between us all and the trust, which is really important, to make a great team. We have a few superstars, but I think as a whole, we all just work and gel really well together. We don't rely on one player to get the job done. It's a whole team process, which is really important to be able to go that far and be as strong as we have been for as many seasons we've been there.
So obviously you just won the first 5 games and then that close loss against the Crows at home on the weekend. How do you think he's going to go for the rest of the season so far? I'm assuming pretty well.
Yeah, I think we'll, the loss, it hurts, but it's part of the game, and I think it's a good learning curve for us all. It happened last season against Brisbane, and then we came back and won the premiership. So, good things can come from a loss, but I think it's really driven us to, stick to our game style, stick to the way we play and not fall against the other teams and let them dictate how we play. So I think that's going to be really important going into the back half of the season, especially playing the likes of North and Brisbane, the harder teams, and they're shaping up really well as well. So I think it'll be a good contest and a good match for us in the back half.
Finals preview as well, playing those two teams in particular.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the best individual game you've ever played in that strings to mind? Doesn't have to be at Melbourne. It could just be locally or anywhere else.
It probably was. The round 1 was probably where I finally clicked for me. Being able to, do those things and be able to show it on the scoreboard as well, and in my tackling pressure. I got a lot of good comments back from my dad and my brother, which is big because they've been playing forever. So knowing that I'm on the right track from them is really good, and my coaching staff as well. But also I had a great game. My first ever game in Dandenong Stingrays, my draft year, that was actually, I had a really, I think I had a really good game then, and I think that set up my draft year for me, for teams to be interested in me, which was important. And so those two are probably the ones that stick in mind the most.
What's some of the best advice you got, either from a family member or from a coach, about football, and that you've kind of stuck with you, or something that you remember and you're like, this is what you're going to go with or listen by?
Yeah, probably just to go on your instinct. Like, you know how to play. You've been playing for a long time. Don't overthink the game. The game's full of mistakes. It's the way you bounce back from them and what you do next. So playing on instinct, knowing that it's about mistakes, and just ultimately having fun, because when you're having fun, good things happen and you enjoy the game better.
Yeah, 47 games. You're approaching game 50. I know it's not there yet, but it will soon. To get to a milestone like that, because not a lot of players haven't got there so far, and I'm sure you'll be happy to get to that when it happens.
Yeah. Round 9 will be my 50th game, which is down at Casey Field, so a home game, which is exciting. So I can have a lot of family friends down there, which will be good fun. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to play 50 games in the AFLW.
Who would you say will win the best and fairest play this year at the end of the season for the competition?
It's hard to go past Jasmine Garner. She's in ripping form. She just plays amazingly every game. But I think it'll be between her and Monique Conti, because Conti's also she's a great player, and I love the way they both play. Both got different strengths, but amazing midfielders. So I would put my bets on either Jazzy Garner or Monique Conti. Good
choices. Who would you feel in the competition? It can be at Melbourne, it can be a player from another club that you feel is a bit underappreciated, that doesn't get talked about as much, that should get a bit more recognition.
I do think in our team, Sinead Goldrick, she just does her role. She's great on offense. She's a tackling machine. And I think she goes overlooked because of how strong our midfield and our forwards are. But she just does little things that, might not be seen. But we all appreciate them at the club. And I think, she's actually in really great form this season.
Who do you feel loves the limelight and the attention and the camera can just not get enough of it?
In our team?
Yeah, or your team or anywhere, yeah.
I think Talia Gillard and Maeve Chaplin love the camera. I know Talia Gillard always asks to be mic'd up at training. So, she does love to talk, and she loves to be on camera, as much as she might deny it, but she definitely, she loves it.
Have you heard of the AFLW fantasy game, and do you play it?
I have heard of it. No, I do not play it, but I have a few friends who play.
Yeah. If you did play, would you pick yourself, and would you know any teammates that would happily pick themselves? So whether they're a regular player, the best player, someone that doesn't get a game, that would just pick themselves?
No, I probably wouldn't pick myself. I don't get as much points as a lot of the other defenders do, but I would say Talia Gillard would also be the one who would back herself in and pick herself in her own team. She's very funny like that, and she loves.
There seems to be a trend there.
Yes,
Is there anyone after a game that just goes when you can get your phone back and etc. and you go check the AFL Live? I mean, they've got to check their stats to compare it against each other or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen anyone in our team do it, but now you've brought it up, I might have to keep an eye out in the next game, see who goes straight to their phones, see who goes straight to the AFL app. I'm just going to have a bit of a peek around, and I'll let you know when I see it happen.
No worries, that'll be interesting. Coach's pet?
Liza McNamara. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Going off the post and everything like that seems to be the case. Any outside of footy interests?
It's so hard with footy being over my life, but I do love the beach. I'll go to the beach fairly often, especially during summer, living down this way. Not surfing or anything, just going to the beach and having a swim.
Nice. Any favourite TV shows or movies?
Ooh, favourite TV show? At the moment, I've actually started watching Vampire Diaries again. I know that's a very much a teenage girl thing, but I did watch it when I was in high school, and I thought, may as well give it another watch.
That's good. Who do you feel will win the Brownlow this year? Oh, it's not the Brownlow. Who will win the Best Player Award for the AFLW competition this year? And obviously you mentioned Monique Conti and Jasmine Garner before, but if you could pick someone outside of them, who else do you think could be in that conversation?
I think Georgie and Maddie Press-Parkis, or even Nina Morrison, they've been playing and they've put a really great games together. And I think, they're also just super strong within their teams. But I do think Georgie Press-Parkis and Nina Morrison might be stealing votes from one another, which could make it hard to win. But, Maddie Press-Parkis is hard to go past her. She's, very dominant in that Essendon team, and she's a great player.
Real pressure coming on, Shelley. So I got one more final question for you. If you could poach any player or players from another club to join Melbourne, who would you poach?
Ooh, I would actually bring in Rochelle Martin from Adelaide. Her forward tackling pressure is insane. she, like, the amount of tackles she has inside 50 and the way she just does her job. Like, she might not kick all the goals, but her tackling pressure and be able to keep it in their forward half would be elite down in Melbourne. I think that would be, I would definitely poach her.
Shelley, I really appreciate you coming on. All the best for the rest of the season. Obviously, we're playing in the finals, hopefully deep in finals again, and another premiership medallion to add to your resume. So appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you very much for having me. Thanks, Cooper.
No worries. Cheers.